Hi, this is Tim from Great Lakes Fly. Today I'm going to be showing you the Northern Tool 4x8 folding trailer by Ironton. It's a put together trailer. It wasn't too bad to put together, but it definitely had some challenges, so I'm going to quickly go over those and show a couple angles of the things that me and my dad, who helped me put it together, found to be difficult. Alright, first thing you want to do is lay out all the parts and make sure you kind of mock up how you're going to put it together. It says you should build it from as if you're looking at it from the back facing forward, which is 100% correct. You definitely want to do that. If you put a part in the wrong place, if you orient it wrong, it's not going to work. Everything's designed to fit a very specific way. Screws are supposed to go here and there in a very specific way. So if you have something turned the wrong direction, or it's the wrong part, obviously you're going to have to take it apart. Also, very much follow the guideline to not screw down everything tight until you have it put mostly together. This is you're gonna have to redo parts here and there. Me and my dad had to do that maybe 3 or 4 times. Wasn't too bad, but if we had to fully unscrew a lot of these bolts, would have been a real pain in the butt. So the next thing I'm going to do is just kind of show close-ups of the trailer to kind of give you some stuff to look at in case you need to troubleshoot. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of go and walk closely through so you can see how the primary part of the frame is oriented. As you can see coming from the back, the flat part's facing out. Come around here, it goes in. The next one also goes in, and then the two pieces meet going like that. All right, and then moving to the front, this is the flat part facing back, and then that faces the very front of the trailer, and that's kind of the innie. I don't know what you'd call that. There's probably a specific term, but this goes in like that. I'll show you, get a shot from the front here. You can see there's all those holes. There's a reason for everything. The biggest thing is you can see the screws in the corner there. Everything, if it's not correct, stuff like this has to meet up. Right here has to meet up. Not all the bars have this stuff, so be very careful in how you do this. All right, one part that was a little bit of a challenge because me and my dad didn't orient this bar in the right spot. We actually had it set back a little bit, so when we put on these little L brackets, it didn't fit. This, I believe, is it's between 4 and 6. So I'm going to show you a close-up of that. Let's move over here. It didn't take very long, but as you can see, there's these 3 holes. We had it set in this hole, and which made this bar too far forward, and which made it so these holes didn't match up at all. We also had oriented this bar, as you can see, kind of get a good look. It's this L shape. We had it oriented wrong. It's got these holes, so we thought it was supposed to go a certain way, and we had to end up looking at it online and figure out a couple things just by some pictures. That's why I'm showing these pictures, so you can get a good idea on what's going on here. This is probably one of the few spots that was actually challenging, but kind of give you up front. Alright, the next step I just want to point out is this part, and that this is the back part of the trailer, and the angled little, bracket here goes on the back part. You can see it's angled. This one, which is on the front, is flat. This one is angled. Just gonna save you some time there because the picture's kind of hard to see. One thing, a recommendation is page 7 of 16. I believe it's the step 4, and then the second one is step 4. Actually, let's talk about the casters. But basically, there's this piece that the casters connect to, which is this piece here, and it goes across here. Show you from the inside, the other side. That's where that big bolt. That's how the your suspension's going to hook up and how the tires are going to hook up. One little thing of recommendation is it'll have you flip the trailer over, throw this bolt in. This is the bolt that hooks to the front of the trailer. The reason for this is it'll keep your trailer in alignment, because me and my dad had an issue. The second bolt, the holes didn't fully match up, so we had to kind of manipulate the trailer, unscrew some stuff to make it fit. So putting this screw in, when you get to page 7, or when you flip the trailer over to hook up the caster bar, I forget what it's called, just go ahead and throw this in, because it's not going to hurt anything. You know, this is how you're actually securing it. These screws here, this stuff, but they have you put this bolt and this bolt in way later. Basically one of the last things you do. And you know, I personally think if you put it in earlier, you're going to save yourself a lot of trouble. Alright, last thing, doing the tires, doing all that stuff wasn't hard. You're going to have to get grease, because they've got, let's see if I can show you. This guy right here, you've got to squirt grease into here, so you're going to need grease to do that. Alright, the final thing I want to talk about is doing the wiring. It really wasn't difficult, but what was difficult is the ground. Alright, they have you run the wiring up under through the slat here, comes out here. They recommend giving yourself 16 inches. That's so when you fold it up, you want excess, so when you fold it up it doesn't break anything. We had to go to our mechanic friend because we could get a ground some of the time. You know, we had full continuity throughout the trailer. There wasn't any broken wires, nothing, but we could not get lights to work. So what we ended up having to do, so this is the ground they provide. There's a little hole that's drilled. You put this tapping screw in, and then you put the white ground. And what we ended up having to do is run grounds from the lights. There's the ground. Really, really easy to do. It goes all the way through here, all the way there, and then it gets spliced in here. And it's like that on the other side. You can see the white ground going all the way back. The reason for this is because there's so many points where the trailer isn't solid. There's a name for this. I don't remember what it is. Sorry about not knowing all these names. But every time you go to these spots where the trailer can fold, like up there, the trailer can fold, you know, if it starts shaking, if it starts rocking, it will lose the integrity of just like all the steel touching, which will break your ground. So it's a lot easier to just make your own ground. Super easy thing to do. You know, there's a few guys that actually recommend this in the reviews, and I'd say they're 100% correct. And our mechanic friend said he doesn't really see how any of these work because there's so many points. You know, we ended up having to chip paint off. Chipped paint off here, chipped a little bit off, you can't see, but it was under here, chipped paint off around here because the paint was also kind of getting in the way of the ground. So, but there's just so many points where the ground kind of gets broken that just go ahead and do yourself a favor and run the ground from the tail lights. We didn't do it from these side lights because these just they weren't an issue. You can see I've got a few brackets. I'm going to do a video on how to make a trailer for my dinghy, but that's basically it. If you got any other questions, feel free to ask. The basic point of this was just to show you some of the areas we struggled. If I were to have done a full video of building it, it'd take too long. It took about 3.5 hours and then a few hours to just ponder how to fix the ground. But it really wasn't that big of a deal. I highly recommend making this with a friend. They don't have to be versed in building things, but just a second set of eyes to figure out why your step isn't working was really beneficial for me and my dad, because he was seeing it one way, I was seeing it the other, and a lot of times it was just rotate this way, spin that way. So really not a hard project, not that long of a project, and it's well worth the money you save. So yeah, this was the 4x8 folding trailer sold by Northern Tool, and it's Iron Tin's the brand. Have a nice day.